In the heart of Jalisco, Mexico, a man named Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes transformed from a local enforcer into the most feared cartel leader. Known as El Mencho, his rise is shrouded in mystery and brutality. His journey from police officer to drug lord challenges common perceptions. How did a man sworn to uphold the law become its deadliest enemy? This is the story of El Mencho's transformation and relentless power. Born in 1967 in Michoacan, Nemesio's early life was marked by poverty. He reportedly joined the police force in his hometown at a young age. Some sources suggest he worked as a rural police officer in the 1980s. During this time, corruption was widespread within local law enforcement. This environment possibly influenced his decision to abandon the police role. His departure marked the beginning of a dangerous new chapter in life. El Mencho's shift towards organized crime began with small-time smuggling. By the early 1990s, he was allegedly involved with the Milenio Cartel. He quickly gained a reputation for his ruthlessness and strategic mind. The Milenio Cartel controlled important drug trafficking routes in Jalisco. El Mencho's leadership qualities caught the attention of cartel elites. This period laid the foundation for his eventual rise to power within crime. In 2003, the Mexican government arrested Milenio Cartel leader Armando Valencia. This created a power vacuum that Nemesio capitalized on carefully. He formed alliances with other traffickers and expanded his influence. His control over methamphetamine production became a key asset. By mid-2000s, he began solidifying his position as a regional kingpin. These moves marked his transition from subordinate to dominant cartel figure. This group is known for extreme violence and rapid territorial expansion. They challenged established cartels like the Sinaloa cartel for dominance. Their use of military-grade weapons and brutal tactics shocked authorities. El Mencho became the public face of this violent and growing empire. His ability to evade capture enhanced his mythos among followers and enemies. International law enforcement agencies placed El Mencho on their highest alert. The U.S. Department of State offered a $10 million reward for his capture. Despite this, El Mencho has managed to remain elusive for over a decade. His network reportedly spans multiple countries, including the United States. He controls drug routes that funnel narcotics into lucrative global markets. This vast reach underscores his cartel's status as the world's deadliest. El Mencho's strategy combines brutal enforcement with savvy business tactics. He reportedly invests in local communities to secure loyalty and silence. Extortion and intimidation maintain his control over trafficking regions. At the same time, diversification into synthetic drugs increase cartel profits. These strategic shifts allowed the cartel to adapt to law enforcement efforts. El Mencho's leadership style blends fear with calculated expansion. The Mexican government launched multiple operations to apprehend El Mencho. Operation Jalisco in 2015 was one of the largest attempts against him. Despite heavy military deployment, he evaded capture and retaliated fiercely. Violence surged in affected regions, with numerous casualties reported. The cartel's resilience exposed challenges in combating deeply rooted crime. El Mencho's ability to withstand pressure shows his intricate network's strength. His cartel's influence extends beyond drug trafficking into other criminal enterprises. Reports link the group to kidnappings, extortion, and arms smuggling. The cartel also allegedly infiltrates local governments and law enforcement. This corruption complicates efforts to dismantle the organization effectively. El Mencho's control is not just physical but also institutional in nature. This multifaceted grip on power makes him uniquely dangerous in Mexico. Few verified details exist about his family or private relationships. His low profile contrasts with the violent notoriety of his cartel. This secrecy aids in his ability to avoid detection and arrest. It also contributes to the aura of invincibility surrounding his persona. Understanding the man behind the myth remains a challenge for authorities. The cartel's recruitment tactics target vulnerable youth and disenfranchised groups. El Mencho's organization offers financial incentives and a sense of belonging. This recruitment sustains the cartel's manpower and territorial control. Efforts to provide alternatives to at-risk populations have had mixed success. The social impact of his cartel fuels cycles of violence and poverty. El Mencho's legacy is thus intertwined with broader societal issues in Mexico. His influence also extends into the United States through trafficking corridors. The cartel's synthetic drug production facilities operate on both sides of the border. El Mencho's network exploits weaknesses in both countries' security systems. U.S. agencies collaborate with Mexican counterparts to disrupt these operations. Yet the cartel adapts quickly, constantly shifting routes and methods. This cat-and-mouse dynamic highlights the complexities of transnational crime. El Mencho's leadership style is marked by delegation to trusted lieutenants. This decentralized command structure enhances operational security. It also allows for rapid decision-making and flexible responses to threats. However, it poses challenges in maintaining absolute control over all factions. Internal betrayals and infighting occasionally surface, but rarely disrupt the cartel. This resilience underscores El Mencho's effective management of a criminal empire. His cartel's use of technology for communication and intelligence gathering is advanced. Encrypted messaging apps and drones are employed to monitor rivals and authorities. This technological edge complicates efforts to intercept communications. Cybersecurity measures protect leadership from infiltration and surveillance. El Mencho's ability to integrate modern tools reflects his adaptability. Such sophistication distinguishes his cartel from older, less organized groups. The cultural impact of El Mencho's cartel is visible in popular media. Songs, social media, and local folklore both glamorize and fear his persona. This notoriety influences public perception of cartel violence and power. It also challenges law enforcement's efforts to counteract the cartel's image. The man who was once a policeman has become a symbol of organized crime. This duality reflects the complicated nature of his story and legacy. El Mencho's cartel has sparked increased militarization in affected Mexican states. Federal and state forces often cooperate in joint operations against the group. However, accusations of human rights violations have accompanied these efforts. The violence associated with the cartel creates ongoing security dilemmas. Communities caught between government forces and cartels face constant danger. El Mencho's reign therefore has profound consequences for regional stability. International cooperation plays a vital role in pursuing El Mencho. Interpol and DEA have included him in their most wanted criminal lists. Cross-border intelligence sharing aims to disrupt drug shipments and finances. Money laundering investigations target the cartel's financial infrastructure globally. Despite these efforts, the cartel's adaptability remains a significant hurdle. El Mencho's ability to avoid capture reflects the challenges of global crime fighting. The economic impact of El Mencho's cartel activities is significant and multifaceted. Drug trafficking fuels illegal economies, but also destabilizes legitimate markets. Extortion demands increase operating costs for local businesses and agriculture. Corruption linked to cartel influence undermines public trust in institutions. Conversely, some areas see short-term economic benefits from cartel spending. This paradox complicates government strategies aimed at eradicating cartel power. The origins of El Mencho's criminal career are debated among experts and officials. Some argue systemic corruption pushed him from law enforcement into crime. Others emphasize socioeconomic factors like poverty and lack of opportunities. His personal ambition and violent disposition also likely played roles. Understanding these factors is crucial for developing effective prevention policies. El Mencho's story is a case study in the complexity of criminal genesis. His cartel's violence is not random, but often strategically planned and executed. Targeted assassinations, public displays of brutality, and intimidation serve purposes. These tactics enforce discipline within the organization and deter rivals. They also send messages to authorities and communities about cartel power. El Mencho uses violence as both a weapon and a tool of psychological warfare. This calculated approach contributes to his cartel's fearsome reputation. The cartel's involvement in synthetic drug production marks a shift in drug markets. Methamphetamine and fentanyl production has become increasingly profitable. El Mencho's organization exploits chemical precursors sourced globally. This diversification reduces reliance on traditional drugs like cocaine. It also poses new challenges for law enforcement and public health officials. El Mencho's adaptability to drug trends ensures his cartel's continued relevance. El Mencho's network reportedly includes corrupt officials at multiple government levels. These relationships provide protection and forewarning of law enforcement operations. Such collusion undermines the rule of law and fosters impunity. Efforts to root out corruption have had limited success in cartel strongholds. The cartel's ability to infiltrate institutions is a key to its survival. El Mencho's leadership capitalizes on these networks to maintain power. Despite his notoriety, El Mencho remains enigmatic and rarely appears publicly. This invisibility protects him from direct targeting and strengthens his mystique. It also complicates intelligence gathering and law enforcement planning. The lack of confirmed photographs adds to the difficulty in identifying him. His elusive nature is a deliberate strategy to survive in a dangerous world. El Mencho's mythos grows partly because of what remains unknown about him. The Jalisco New Generation cartel under El Mencho has expanded into new territories. States like Veracruz, Colima, and parts of Mexico City have seen cartel activity. This expansion threatens rival groups and intensifies violent confrontations. It also disrupts local economies and public safety in newly contested areas. El Mencho's vision appears focused on national dominance rather than regional control. This ambition drives ongoing conflicts and shifts in Mexico's criminal landscape. The cartel's ability to control drug routes depends on strategic geographic positioning. Guadalajara, the cartel's home base, is a critical hub for trafficking operations. Access to Pacific ports facilitates shipments to Asia and North America. Control of highways enables efficient transport and distribution networks. El Mencho's understanding of geography is integral to his operational success. This logistical mastery differentiates his cartel from less organized competitors. El Mencho's cartel finances allow investment in advanced weaponry and technology. Acquisition of assault rifles, armored vehicles, and surveillance equipment is common. These resources create a paramilitary force capable of confronting government troops. The cartel's firepower challenges the traditional monopoly of state violence. El Mencho's ability to procure such assets underscores international criminal linkages. This militarization heightens the stakes in Mexico's ongoing security crisis. Drug addiction and overdose rates in the U.S. have increased partly due to his cartel. Fentanyl, trafficked by his organization, is a leading cause of overdose deaths. This public health crisis has prompted calls for enhanced border security. El Mencho's cartel profits from this crisis, perpetuating cycles of addiction. Efforts to reduce supply face challenges due to the cartel's adaptability. His impact thus extends beyond Mexico into broader North American society. El Mencho's cartel reportedly uses complex money laundering schemes globally. Real estate, casinos, and shell companies are common vehicles for illicit funds. International banking systems are exploited to obscure the origins of money. Authorities have seized millions in assets linked to cartel activities. However, tracing and confiscating these assets remains a persistent challenge. El Mencho's financial networks are as sophisticated as his operational ones. The cartel's involvement in social services and charitable acts is a tactic used. Such actions build local support and undermine government legitimacy. El Mencho's organization sometimes fills gaps left by state institutions. This dual role complicates public attitudes toward the cartel's presence. Communities may feel both fear and reliance on cartel-provided services. This social strategy reinforces El Mencho's grip on contested areas. The impact of COVID-19 on cartel operations revealed both vulnerabilities and resilience. Pandemic restrictions disrupted some trafficking routes and supply chains temporarily. However, El Mencho's cartel adapted by shifting markets and methods quickly. The health crisis also strained law enforcement resources and focus. These conditions provided opportunities for the cartel to consolidate power. El Mencho's leadership proved flexible amid unprecedented global challenges. El Mencho's story raises questions about the effectiveness of Mexico's drug policies. Militarized approaches have often failed to dismantle powerful cartels. Corruption and impunity undermine institutional responses to organized crime. Alternative strategies focusing on social development and prevention gain attention. Understanding El Mencho's rise is essential to crafting sustainable solutions. His trajectory exemplifies the complex interplay between crime and governance. The future of the Jalisco New Generation cartel remains uncertain but dangerous. Potential leadership struggles could erupt if El Mencho is captured or killed. Alternatively, his continued reign may lead to further cartel expansion. Government strategies will need to evolve to address emerging threats. El Mencho's legacy will influence Mexico's security landscape for years. His story is a stark reminder of the challenges posed by modern cartels. El Mencho's evolution from policeman to cartel leader reflects systemic failures. It highlights how poverty, corruption, and weak institutions enable crime growth. His ability to navigate and exploit these factors defines his criminal success. The enduring question remains, can Mexico overcome the conditions that created him? His life offers lessons, but also warnings about the limits of current policies. El Mencho's story is both a cautionary tale and an ongoing crisis. As law enforcement intensifies efforts to capture El Mencho, uncertainty persists. His network's depth and adaptability challenge conventional crime-fighting methods. The human cost of his cartel's violence continues to mount across regions. Communities live under constant threat, caught in the crossfire of power struggles. El Mencho's reign may represent a new era of cartel sophistication and brutality. The world watches as this elusive figure shapes the future of organized crime.